Nice that you are watching this video. We continue with the album Fearless by Taylor Swift. Swift named the album Fearless inspired by the title track. Fearless doesn't mean you're completely unafraid, and it doesn't mean that you're bulletproof. It means that you have a lot of fears, but you jump anyway. All the songs on the album reflected her fearless attitude to embrace the hardships and challenges in love and life. Swift was the booklet's designer. Joseph Anthony Barker, Ash Newell, and Cheryl Nields were responsible for the photography, and Lean Ann Ramey designed the cover artwork. The 13-track standard edition was released on November 11, 2008, by Big Machine Records. An international edition featuring 3 bonus tracks, Our Song, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Should Have Said No, was released on March 9, 2009, by Big Machine in partnership with Universal Music Group. Swift announced a reissue of Fearless, subtitled Platinum Edition, on September 10, 2009. The reissue was released on October 26, 2009. The Platinum Edition package includes a CD and a DVD. The CD features 6 additional songs: Jump Then Fall, Untouchable, Forever and Always, piano version, Come In With the Rain, Superstar, and The Other Side of the Door, placed prior to the original tracks. The DVD comprises the music videos for Change, The Best Day, Love Story, White Horse, and You Belong With Me. Behind-the-scenes footage for the latter 3, behind-the-scene footage from the first concert of the Fearless tour, and Thug Story, a video Swift filmed with the rapper T-Pain exclusively for the 2009 CMT Music Awards. Untouchable is a cover of a 2007 song by the rock band Lunar Halo. Its lyrics and arrangement were rewritten by Swift, leading to her earning a writing credit on her version. On June 8, 2008, Swift performed songs from Fearless on Clear Channel's Stripped. The performance was recorded and included in the Platinum Edition reissue, prior to the album's commercial release. Change was made available via the iTunes Store on August 8 as a promotional single. It was included on the AT&T Team USA soundtrack, a compilation of songs played during the United States' participation in the 2008 Summer Olympics. A digital campaign launched through the iTunes Store, called Countdown to Fearless, featured one song released each week during the 5 weeks leading to the album's release. Breathe was released as a promotional single exclusively via Rhapsody on October 21, 2008. Swift made many television appearances to promote Fearless throughout late 2008, performing on shows including The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Good Morning America, and Late Night with David Letterman. A special CMT Crossroads episode featuring Swift and rock band Def Leppard singing each other's songs was recorded on October 6 at the Roy Acuff Theater in Nashville, and aired on CMT on November 7, 2008. Her performances at awards shows that year included the Country Music Association Awards and the American Music Awards. Besides live appearances, Swift used her MySpace account to promote to a young audience, sharing snippets of songs for streaming before they were released to radio, as she had done with her debut album. She continued to appear on televised events through 2009, hosting Saturday Night Live, and performing at awards shows including the 51st Annual Grammy Awards, the CMT Music Awards, and the Country Music Association Awards. At the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards, the rapper-producer Kanye West interrupted Swift's acceptance speech for winning Best Female Video with You Belong With Me, an incident known as Kanyegate, which received widespread media coverage. 5 songs were released as singles from Fearless. The lead single, Love Story, was released on September 15, 2008. It peaked atop Hot Country Songs and was the first country song to reach number 1 on Pop Songs, a Billboard chart monitoring pop radio in the United States. The single peaked at number 4 on the US Billboard Hot 100, number 2 on the UK Singles Chart, and number 1 in Australia. The 4 remaining singles were White Horse, December 8, 2008; You Belong With Me, April 20, 2009, 15, August 31, 2009, and Fearless, January 4, 2010. All 4 peaked within the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100, with You Belong With Me peaking at number 2, and within the top 10 of Hot Country Songs, with You Belong With Me reaching number 1. Similar to Love Story, You Belong With Me was a crossover success, becoming the first country song to top the all-genre radio songs chart, driven mostly by non-country airplay. According to Nielsen SoundScan, Love Story and You Belong With Me were the 2 most played songs on US radio throughout 2009. Swift announced the Fearless Tour, her first headlining tour, in January 2009. The tour started in Evansville, Indiana on April 23, and visited the United States and Canada over 6 months. Prior to the Fearless Tour, Swift headlined 3 music festivals: the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo in February 2009, and the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo and the Florida Strawberry Festival in March. In October, when the first North American leg finished, Swift announced a second North American leg beginning on March 4, 2010, in Tampa, Florida. Outside North America, the Fearless Tour visited Australia and Japan in February 2010. The tour was met with high demand, selling out tickets within minutes. Swift wrapped up the North American leg at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts on June 5, 2010. The tour grossed over $63 million and played to over 1.1 million fans. Commercial success in the United States, Fearless set many chart records and catapulted Swift to mainstream prominence on the Billboard 200. It debuted at number 1 with first-week sales of 592,000 copies and spent 11 non-consecutive weeks at number 1, the longest run for a female country album and for any album in the 2000s decade. It is the album with the most top 40 entries on the Billboard Hot 100, 13, including tracks from the Platinum Edition. 5 tracks peaked within the top 10: Fearless, Love Story, You Belong With Me, Change, and Jump Then Fall. On the Top Country Albums chart, Fearless spent 35 weeks at number 1, becoming the female album with the second longest weeks at number 1. Behind Shania Twain's Come On Over, 1997, 50 weeks. With 3.217 million copies sold in the United States, throughout 2009, Fearless was the year's best-selling album in the country. The achievement made Swift, then 20 years old, the youngest artist and the only female country musician to have a best-selling album of a calendar year. It was the only album from the 2000s decade to spend its first full year in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 and spent a total of 58 weeks in the top 10, a record for a country musician. In December 2017, the Recording Industry Association of America certified the album Diamond for surpassing 10 million album equivalent units based on sales and streams. By January 2024, Fearless had sold 7.285 million copies in the United States. Fearless marked Swift's international breakthrough. It peaked atop the charts of Canada and New Zealand and within the top 5 of Australia, number 2, Scotland, number 4, and the United Kingdom, number 5. It received multi-platinum certifications in Ireland and the United Kingdom. double platinum, Canada, 4 times platinum, New Zealand, 6 times platinum, and Australia, 8 times platinum. The album reached the top 10 in Japan, and top 20 in Austria, Brazil, Germany, Greece, and Sweden. It was certified gold in Japan, Germany, Austria, and Norway, platinum in Denmark, double platinum in Singapore, and 9 times platinum in the Philippines. As of April 2021, the album had sold 12 million copies worldwide. Fearless received generally positive reviews from music critics in the press. On Metacritic, which assigns an aggregated score out of 100 to reviews in mainstream publications, the album earned a score of 73, based on 14 reviews. Many critics lauded Swift's songwriting craftsmanship. Reviews published in the Boston Globe, Blender, Entertainment Weekly, The Village Voice, and USA Today remarked that Fearless was an honest and vulnerable record contrasting with albums by other teenage singers, thanks to Swift's self-penned songs. Other reviews from AllMusic, Billboard, and The Observer deemed the lyrics mature for her age. In MSN Music, Robert Christgau found the album's romantic idealism distasteful, but he lauded Swift's songwriting skills as remarkable for a teenage artist. Jonathan Keefe from Slant magazine agreed the songs were well written but felt they fell short of refinement. Some critics praised Fearless's crossover appeal. AllMusic's Stephen Thomas Erlewine and the Boston Globe's James Reed remarked that the album straddled the perceived boundary between country and pop. The former called it one of the best mainstream pop albums of 2008. In Rolling Stone, Jody Rosen hailed Swift as a songwriting savant with an intuitive gift for the verse-chorus-bridge architecture. Christgau commented that the songs were effective partly because of the musical restraint of a strain of Nashville big pop that avoids muscle-flexing rockism. Other reviewers were divided over the production. Chris Richards of The Washington Post commended the radio-friendly tunes, but he commented that the album was repetitive overall. Although Richards praised Swift's vocals for what he deemed a chirpy cadence that made her assign fresh notes to almost every syllable, Keefe deemed her voice weak and strained, which blemished the album with occasional breath controls and nasal tones. Petridis found the praise in the American press surprising, though he agreed Swift's songwriting was remarkable. He found the music bland and uninventive, which occasionally left the audience wondering if the world really needs any more music like this. The British magazine Q wrote, "Her giggly peers will find she speaks their language, while grown-ups will prefer her to keep quiet." Fearless featured on 2008 year-end lists by the Associated Press, Blender, Rolling Stone, and The Village Voice's Pats and Jop, and 2009 year-end list by The Guardian. John Caramanica in the New York Times placed the album at number 4 on his list of 2008's best albums and called Swift one of pop's finest songwriters, country's foremost pragmatist and more in touch with her inner life than most adults. The most awarded country album in history, Fearless won Album of the Year at both the Country Music Association Awards and the Academy of Country Music Awards in 2009. It was honored as the top-selling album by the Canadian Country Music Association in 2009 and 2010. At the American Music Awards of 2009, Fearless won Favorite Country Album and was nominated for Favorite Pop, Rock Album. Its other accolades included a Teen Choice Award for Choice Female Album, a Sirius XM Indie Award for International Album of the Year, and a Juno Award nomination for International Album of the Year at the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards in February 2010. Fearless won Album of the Year and Best Country Album. The Album of the Year made 20-year-old Swift the youngest artist to win the award, a record she held until 18-year-old Billie Eilish won Album of the Year at the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards in 2020. Swift is the second country artist to win the three highest awards for a country album by the ACM, the CMA, and the Grammys, after the Chicks with Fly, 1999, and the first to further win the Grammy for Album of the Year for the same album. White Horse won 2 Grammy Awards that year: Best Female Country Vocal Performance and Best Country Song. Fearless's critical and commercial successes earned Swift mainstream popularity beyond country music. The widespread success of Love Story and You Belong With Me particularly attracted criticism against her identity as a country artist, with several commentaries labeling her a pop artist. Perrone wrote that Fearless moved Swift's status from a singer-songwriter prodigy to singer-songwriter superstar, highlighting the critical praise that she received. He also attributed the album's high sales to Swift's savvy marketing, with enhanced bonus material for the CD instead of download. Fearless became indicative of a 21st-century marketing trend in CD recordings. Swift's rising fame prompted media scrutiny on her public image, despite her popularity with teenage girls. Some feminist writers took issue with Fearless's themes, such as pining for boys and competing against girls, as anti-feminist and harmful to her audience. Swift's songwriting on Fearless embodied the Swiftian, confessional narratives that became emblematic in her artistry. In a 2019 review for Pitchfork, Sills commented that the simplicity and earnestness of Fearless were a testament to Swift's abilities of writing timeless songs. According to Sills, whereas other teen idols were often sexualized, it was refreshing that Swift wrote about teenage experiences, in her own terms, redefining what teen pop could sound like in the process. Other retrospective reviews attributed the album's enduring popularity to the universal feelings that it evokes: heartbreak, frustration, first love, and aspirations. In 2024, Spin deemed Fearless the best album by Swift, upholding it as a masterpiece of high school anxiety and adolescent heartbreak. Caramanica ranked Fearless the second best in Swift's 11-album discography. He said that the album solidified Swift's success in country music while its songwriting retained her teenage earnestness that had been frequently overlooked in the industry, which was a powerful feat both artistically and commercially. The album placed at number 99 on NPR's 150 Greatest Albums Made by Women, 2017, and number 10 on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Country Albums of All Time, 2022. According to Billboard's Andrew Unterberger, the album popularized country music to teenage girls, and its Grammy win for Album of the Year proved Swift as one of the most important singer-songwriters of her generation. Swift began re-recording her first 6 studio albums, including Fearless, in November 2020. The decision came after a public dispute between her and the music executive Scooter Braun, who acquired the masters of Swift's first 6 studio albums, which Swift had been trying to buy for years, following her departure from Big Machine Records in November 2018. The re-recording of Fearless, subtitled Taylor's Version, was released on April 9, 2021, through Republic Records. Fearless, Taylor's Version, contains re-recordings of all tracks from the Platinum Edition and the Valentine's Day soundtrack single, Today Was a Fairy Tale, 2010, and new recordings of 6 previously unreleased, From the Vault, tracks. Following the release of Fearless, Taylor's Version, the original album reached a new peak on charts in Austria, Germany and Switzerland. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.